So now we're going to bring in our third speaker, Dr. Dana Cohen. Dana Cohen. So for over 40 years, Dana has been recognized as a leader in integrative and functional medicine, sometimes referred to as New York's best kept secret. As a trusted health advocate and advisor for thousands of patients across America, Dana addresses the whole body, including environment and lifestyle, integrating traditional treatments with complementary therapies. She is also a New York Times best-selling author. Her book is titled Quench, which some of you may be familiar with, for proper hydration, and she recently published Fuel Up. She, too, is one of New York's top doctors.
Welcome, Dana. So I have read the book Quench. It's incredible. I highly, highly recommend, and I'm not getting a kickback for that. I mean it. So Quench is about hydration, and you are also referred to as the hydration queen. We love that. And you also have a new book out that you're going to be talking to us about that's also Fuel Up. So we'll be hearing more about that. And I almost feel obliged to say, everybody who's got a water bottle, have a sip of water. But please tell us more why we should do that.
Okay, so I'm going to try to give you guys some very practical tips that you can all take home right now. The single most important thing you can do to treat and prevent any chronic disease before you take a supplement, before you do a fitness regimen, before you do any kind of nutrition program is learn how to hydrate first. We can't function without hydration, and it takes one day. It takes one day to learn how to do it, and it's fast and it's easy and it's free. So, and none of us are doing it right. And it's not necessarily about drinking more and more water, although we need to drink some water. It's really about eating your water. I love how this is all layering upon each other because it's all about getting ultra-processed foods out of your diet. Does everybody know what ultra-processed foods means? If you look at a label and there's more than 10 ingredients, it's ultra-processed. They basically, if you don't understand the ingredients on the label, it's ultra-processed. They're putting emulsifiers and chemicals into it to make it addictive, to make it taste better, to make it last longer on the shelves, and it needs to go. And my message is very simple. We need to go back to the way Mother Nature intended us to eat, eating real food, and more plants, more vegetables in our diet, more fruits in our diets. My first book, Quench, is about hydration, and there's some interesting ideas in there all about, so for example, how movement is a hydrating act. You know, we used to say, oh, you got to move your joints to lubricate them. Now we really understand what that means. And the bottom line is it's about the fascia in your body, which is the connective tissue that surrounds every cell, every organ. It turns out that it acts as a hydraulic pump. So when you're moving, you're delivering hydration to the periphery. It's also why I believe sitting is the new smoking. We're squelching delivery to our periphery. So practical tip number one, when you wake up in the morning, start from your toes, go straight to your head, and move every joint in ways that maybe you're not used to moving it. You know, we have a section in Quench about what we call micro movements. We made them up. There's no science about micro movements. And it's not exercise. Exercise is a different thing. We need to exercise. This is different. This is just these micro movements. This is a micro movement. This is a micro movement. When you're twisting, you're moving fluid up and down your spine. So first thing in the morning, move everywhere. When you get into the elevator, do some micro movements. Move in the ways that we're not used to. I love it because I start to see people doing this in the audience. It makes me happy. So movement is a hydrating act. One more quick tip. Start your day with a big glass of water. 8 to 16 ounces. You can put a little pinch of salt in there. There's a whole story about that we don't have time to go into. Or you can put a squeeze of lemon. But even if it's just a big glass of water, we've been detoxifying overnight. That's when we detoxify. Our brain, that's how our brain detoxifies, when we sleep. So in the morning, you have all this concentrated gunk that's got to get out. You go pee, and you'll see your urine is way more concentrated in the morning than you knew. And so you want to replenish that. You want to start your day with a big glass of water, and it's just a great habit to get into, because that's sometimes the only water some people drink. And I'm also here to tell you that we don't need to drink 8 glasses of water. It's different for every person. Their set point is different. I don't know what yours are. And we don't have a test to know how well hydrated you are. The best thing that you can do is look at your urine output. We're meant to urinate every 2 or 3 hours during our waking hours. So if you're sitting at your desk for 8 hours and you haven't gotten up once to pee, you're not hydrating enough. One more thing, sorry. If you're thirsty, you're already too far gone. Thirst is an absolute indicator of dehydration. It's your body's telling you you're dehydrated. So thirst is you're not doing it right. You want to stave off that thirst.
Excellent. And I've heard mixed things about caffeine, right? It used to be that if you had a cup of coffee or tea or more than that, that was almost a diuretic, and then you needed a little bit more fluid to make up for it. Is there truth to that? Because I've heard a little bit of debunking of that theory.
I have great news for all you coffee drinkers. Caffeine, and actually good coffee, mold-free coffee, organic coffee is good for you because of the antioxidants in it. And anything under 4 cups is not a diuretic. So now, if I drank 4 cups of coffee, I would be a nervous wreck. So there is an adrenal response to your caffeine. Caffeine is a drug. It does give you energy, that kind of thing. But as far as the hydrating aspect of it, it counts. And there's some real good antioxidant benefits to coffee. So that's good news. Say it again?
Mushroom coffee. What
Yeah,
about mushroom coffee?
So I don't know. I can't taste. I don't love the taste of it. I do think there's some real great benefits to it. So and there's definitely better brands out there. Some good brands. Play around with them. I think for health-wise, they're great. I don't think there's any caffeine in them. I might be wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so normally, although I was also told once to take the healthy mushrooms, not psychedelic mushrooms, after you've had caffeine. Yeah. So your second book, Fuel Up, came up 6 months ago. Oh, I think you're holding a copy of it. Can we see?
I am.
Great. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And you have lots of great tips in there as well.
Super proud of this book. So I really wrote this book for some members of my family. So I went into integrative medicine right out of residency. I used to work for Dr. Atkins, and this is in 1998. That's so funny. What I have learned is that diets don't work. And believe you me, I have put everybody on a low-carb ketogenic diet before it was ever even a thing. And they work short-term, and they're great. And if somebody still to this day came in and was 300 pounds diabetic, I'm going to put them on a low-carb diet. I'm going to put them on a ketogenic diet because I need to change their brain. I need them to feel better. I need them to see results. But the long term, it doesn't work. This book is written for people who there is no diet, there's no deprivation. It's just learning how to eat how Mother Nature intended. Real food. There's over 100 different recipes in here. And honestly, I wrote it with my co-author is the inventor of the NutriBullet. He sold that business, has a new blender out called the Beast, which is an amazing, beautiful, gorgeous blender and really functional. And he's got so many tips because he follows this lifestyle. But the truth is, a blender is the perfect tool for kids, for adults. Tip number 3, every day have a green smoothie. Blend up some greens with water, and then whatever else you want to put in there. Nobody's going to put cake in their blender, So.
He just gave us an idea.
No, get that out of your mind.
Burn that.
A green smoothie a day is a fantastic habit to get into. We're going into summer right now. Get going, get started, just get your blender out, put it on your counter, leave it there, clean it out right after you use it. We even talk about, simple ways of just making your life easy. Very, very practical book. I'm really proud of it. Well, No, there's
Yeah,
a
so
place.
just so we can capture that great question on the powders, whether it be the AG1 or whether it be protein powders or any of
Yeah.
the many powders that they offer out there. What are your thoughts on that?
I think there's a place for them. I really do. Those are good processed foods. Protein powders. It's hard to get a lot of protein in our days, especially people on GLP-1s, those kind of things. So there's a place for protein powders. There's a place for the AG greens or the powdered greens for those who just you don't have your days to get in your vegetables. And it's all about convenience. So those are decent. I think they're good. Always first choice is Mother Nature. Get in your greens. But I do think that there's a place for them. And there's definitely some that are better than others.
I'm curious because I do have some AG1 greens and sometimes protein powders as well, but many of them are sweetened with stevia. What are your thoughts on that?
I have no problem with stevia. Stevia, I mean, I don't love the taste of it, but I have not seen any bad research on stevia. It's definitely acceptable. There's even better ones than that, though. It turns out that the stevia that has erythritol in it, and most stevia has erythritol in it, it's the erythritol that may not be good for our guts and that kind of thing. There's a newer sweetener called allulose that has some interesting small studies behind it that show it may help improve blood sugar. It's natural. You use it 1-to-1 as sugar. It tastes great. So you can bake with it. You can find it on Amazon. Allulose is its name. Lohan or monk fruit is another acceptable sugar substitute. The other ones got to go. The sucralose, the NutraSweet, the pink packets, the blue packets, they're almost worse than sugar as far as I'm concerned. Yeah. Raw sugar. So I think it once again it depends on your metabolism. So you have to know, and there are ways of how do I say this? There are ways of eating sugary foods that works for your metabolism. So you eat a meal. You want to start your meal with your protein and your fat, and have your sugar after the meal, your dessert after the meal. But it's hard if you're diabetic. You want. I don't think there's anybody in my field or anybody who doesn't have sugar ever. We all have a little bit. It's hard. It's addictive. So it's a hard question to answer. She asked, "What about sugar? Plain raw sugar?" So I think we should. Sugar is inflammatory. I hate to say it. It really is. But it's here, and we need to. It depends on your health, and we do need to limit it and be careful with it. That's my best answer.
So one question, and then we'll go back, and I know people have a lot of questions for you, which is, can you give us some pointers to talk to our doctors? Because unfortunately, sometimes doctors, they've had all of maybe an hour of nutrition in med school, and they don't necessarily take it as seriously as I think it needs to be taken. So how would you approach that?
In how we speak to our doctors, I think number one, when you go, and this goes for anybody, even if you're going to an integrative doctor, I see patients that have seen 50 doctors before they get to me, and they have read every book on nutrition. They think they know holistic medicine, and they do. I learn so many new things from my patients all the time. However, I'm here to tell you that you're doing a disservice when you go to your doctor and you say, "I think I have mold toxicity," or "I think I have candida, and these are the reasons why I think that." So, and especially if you're seeing a functional medicine doctor, because now that functional medicine doctor has ruled out everything else on you that could be a possibility. So you're dictating to them what you know. You need to complain. Always start with your complaints, and write them down, because you forget them. I forget them if I was to go see a doctor. Write down, before, 2 weeks before you go to a doctor, start writing down your symptoms. Take everything, make it clear and as concise as possible. Write out your history too. Show them, bring it to them. This is my timeline of my disease. It's really helpful, and you'll always have it. You can bring it to the next doctor if you need to. But I think be careful and I'll always say to my patients too, listen, I promise you, I want to hear all your theories. I really do. I want to hear it at the end, because by you telling me that, now that's all I'm going to be thinking about. You've done a disservice for yourself.
Really important. Great. Are there any other questions out there? Yes, in the back. Oh, I'm sorry, one question. Go ahead.
Selfish note, but what's your take on matcha that's been now forced upon every Starbucks drinker?
Yeah, my take is it's good. I think there is some good health benefits to you. I hate the taste of it. I don't like it. I think whatever it takes to get you to hydrate. Matcha, there's some nice antioxidants in it. There is caffeine in that, so you do need to be careful. Once again, caffeine's a drug. You want to drink it earlier in the day, so it can affect your sleep. Sleep is super important. My website is drdanacohen.com. There's a contact sheet. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to get back in touch with you.
And you're giving that book away, I hear?
I'm giving it to somebody I just promised it to.
Okay. But go check it out. Fuel up. Thank you, everyone.